Hello my friends, this is a bit of a bonus video this week. I've seen a lot of people picking up the new Blood Angels Comat Patrol, so I thought why don't we do a video about starting Blood Angels if you're using that Comat Patrol. I thought that would be interesting. Thought that's a question that a lot of people would be asking, so the goals for the video are pretty clear. We're going to take the current Comat Patrol video to about 1,000 points. I'm going to share some strategies so you can take the list in the direction that you want to, because I think there's multiple ways to build Blood Angels. So if you are new here, my name is John. I'm here on YouTube every week to help you be a better Blood Angels player. If that's something you're interested in, please subscribe to me. So the Comat Patrol is 6 Sary Guard, 270 points. You can split them into squads of 3, 5 Assault Intercessors on foot, 150 points. Again, you can split these into squads of 5, and a Blood Angels Captain, 80 points, has been FAQ'd up to 80 points, which is exactly 500 points, which is what I predicted. So let's talk about how we take this into a 1,000-point list. Let's start with the Sary Guard, because we're obviously going to use those, aren't we? So 6-man Sary Guard with Dante is a very solid choice in 2,000-point battles. Dante is the commander of all of the Blood Angels. He synergizes super well with Sary Guard. I mean, I've done multiple videos on these other units, so if that's something you're interested in, you can check out. But yeah, so we want to buy strategically so we're not wasting too much money, and also anything that we buy we're going to be able to use in both a 1,000 points and a 2,000 point list, so save you some money in the long run. So one of the things I want to do is straight away we're going to add Dante to one squad of Sary Guard. That would put this up at 265 points. I think a 6-man squad in a 1,000-point game is probably overkill. So the other 3 guys will be ran leaderless for 135 points. We want to build most of the Sary Guard with swords. We want to add an Infernal Pistol for every 3. We also want to add a banner to the squad, which might actually be difficult to do with the swords. So figure out a way of getting one of the banners on there. Maybe you need to build one guy with a spear. But swords are typically going to be the better choice. And as we move to 2,000 points, we can easily have Dante plus all 6. So this Dante is a no-brainer. He's super good character right now, and I'm playing him literally every week on my stream. So if you want to come around and see him in action on a live battle report, we stream pretty much every second Wednesday. There's a game on the channel. So Wednesday night, 7:30 UK time. For the captain plus the Assault Intercessors, right? A 5-man captain inside an Impulsor gets a ton of play right now, right? Recently in the meta, we've seen people even do the squad twice because it's just that good. So I would build the captain with the Infernal Pistol and the Power Fist. I'll build a sergeant with Assault Intercessors with the Plasma Pistol and the Power Fist. I would buy an Impulsor, so that's going to be your second purchase. I'm going to build the Impulsor with the bonus Heavy Stubber and the Shield Dome. The Shield Dome is just super core. It means the Impulsor is just a nightmare for the enemy to kill. And for now, we're going to keep the other 5 Assault Intercessors on their own. These are essentially the weakest choice out of the 3 things from the Comat Patrol at this point. And they're filler, and we may replace them in 1,000 points. But if we're trying to get to 1,000 points for as cheap as possible, they're in there for now, right? The next thing that we want to buy, so the third, you've bought Dante, you've bought the Impulsor, you want to buy Assault Intercessors with a jump packs. This is comes in a 5-man unit. They're just too good to ignore. They do actions, they move fast, they book our really weaker enemy chaff units. They cost 90 points. You build a sergeant with a plasma pistol and the power fist. You build one other guy with a plasma. Everyone else has like a bolt pistol, or heavy bolt pistol rather, and a chainsword. 90 points. Let's add those. Honestly, they're one of the best units in the game. 40k. They were actually 80 points. They just got put up to 90 points. So yes, please, real quick, like, I'm not going to sit on this slide for more than like 2 seconds. Subscribe, like the video. I do appreciate that. This video is aimed at new players. That's why it's not out as normal. There will be a normal video out on Friday for all my veteran players and subscribers. This is a bonus video, so to speak. So the work in progress list is Dante plus 3 Sary Guard, 3 Sary Guard on their own, 5 Assault Intercessors on foot with that Blood Angels captain inside the Impulsor, 5 more Assault Intercessors on foot, and 5 Jump Assault Intercessors, totaling 800 points. So this is where it becomes basically your choice on how to finish the list, and there is 2 distinct options. Option number 1 is you want to include some fire support. Fire support is a distinct style of playing Blood Angels where you back up all our nice melee threats with some long-range firepower. And there's reasons to do this. Sometimes you'll play against an enemy army that has long-range firepower. Sometimes it'll be hard to get your melee units across the board to deal with them. They'll whittle you down over many turns. So I personally play option number 1, fire support. I will always add some valid powerful long-range firepower to my Blood Angels list, and in this case I would buy a Gladiator Lancer. It's probably the best tank in terms of sheer damage. I would actually, to fit this into my list, I would remove that one unit of Assault Intercessors that we said was the weakest choice. This would leave us at 885 points, so we've got 115 to play with. And then with those 115 points, I would buy one of these three choices. All of these three choices are in my current 2,000 point list. Astaroth leads a Death Company, is very strong. Blade Guard, choppy with swords, big shields, very durable unit. And Jump Assault Intercessors, we already touched on just how good they are. So all three of these units fit perfectly into 2,000 point list. They would help you round out these last 115 points. The Gladiator Lancer fits perfectly into the 2,000 as well. And typically one of the things that we actually see in 2,000 points is double Gladiator Lancer. So you would buy this one and another one. So this gives you kind of like 4 ways you can finish out this list. If you're trying to keep it as cheap as absolute possible, I guess to start with, you could just run those 5 Assault Intercessors. You would be at 960 points. You would have some wasted points. That isn't the end of the world if the ultimate goal is to get to 2,000. If you're going to be playing 1,000 point games for a while, then one of these 3 choices. Astaroth on his own without a squad isn't amazing, but he's still not too bad. And he's definitely going to be able to lead a squad when you move to 2,000 points. Option number 2, which is the way that has been very common for the last like 7 or 8 years, is the all melee build Blood Angels, which is basically just every unit in your army typically has a big melee weapon, and most of them have jump packs. So we would go back at this point to the 800 point list, and we would buy the 5 Death Company with jump packs for 130 points. We would remove the 5 Assault Intercessors on foot again, because they are the weakest choice there. This puts us at 855 points. 2 ways I would finish this out are, you would buy a Jump Chaplain to lead the Death Company. He costs 75 points. And then that would leave you just enough points for a squad of Scouts. I would build the Scouts with combat knives. I would build a Sergeant with a chainsword. Do you know what? I just realised that I didn't actually tell you how to build this Death Company, but this Death Company needs to be built with 2 Power Fists and an Eviscerator. They're the special weapons that you have. The other 2 guys have chainswords, and the Jump Chaplain ideally should be built with a Power Fist as well. I just updated that slide really quick because I don't want anyone to get confused by anything. So this would put you at exactly 1,000 points if my math is correct. No, 140 onto this would actually put you at 995 points. Jump Chaplain with 5 Death Company is very good. Easy to expand that Death Company out into 10 on 2,000 points, and or run a second Jump Chaplain. Scouts are a very popular scoring unit, 65 points. They're in a lot of lists. They have forward deploy, they have redeploy like every turn. You can lift them up, you can put them down somewhere else on the board. They're very common in 2,000 lists. The Chaplain isn't the most common, but I think he's still a very strong choice for the Death Company with his +1 to wound. So I think based on that, you then basically end up with 2 options, both pretty good 1,000 point lists. I actually think the all melee 1,000 point list here might be a little bit stronger, but you're on a smaller board, there's less firing lanes, a single tank isn't that great. That's why in 2,000 point lists, we always kind of emphasize that you should have 2 long-range fire support weapons. And I think when you put that long-range fire support weapons in and you've got 2 of them, then they become very deadly. So maybe if 1,000 points is all you're interested in, then maybe you should pick option 2 if you're going to try and build to 2,000 points and you want a more rounded army, and that's what I would say the fire support option is, a bit more rounded. It's maybe a bit of a more lower skill in that it's a little bit easier to play the fire support army, right? Because you essentially have 2 really powerful tanks with 72 inches range, and you can just basically point them at something across the other side of the board and typically kill it most turns. So it's maybe a little bit easier to play fire support. Maybe that's why I play it. But yeah, I did recently win a tournament running fire support Blood Angels, so it is totally a valid, a 32 player tournament. So it wasn't just like a small event. Okay, so that is it. That is a very quick lowdown on how you can take the Blood Angels Comat Patrol into 2,000 point list. I did do another video if you were buying all the new Death Company models, how you could start building out a 2,000 point list from that video. Sorry, from that box set as well. So if you haven't watched this video, then I guess it's a great time now to go check it out. I'll link it right there on the screen. And if you want to support the channel, then head over to Patreon and support me there. I do really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. Leave a like. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great evening, my friends. By the blood, arm made strong. Peace.